Let's tell the truth no one in this industry wants to hear. A chef can spend 20 years mastering the craft.
Right.
And still lose to someone with half the talent and, well, 10 times the visibility. Because today, being exceptional in the kitchen is not enough. If nobody knows you, follows you, remembers you,
Yeah.
or can buy from you twice, you are not building a future. You're performing a disappearing act.
Holy schnitzel. That is not a cold open. That is a warning shot.
Good, because today we're talking about the death of just a chef.
Chefs Inc. News. News for chefs created by chefs.
Guten Tag and welcome back to Chefs Inc. News. I'm Chef Antonio, and this is the episode that might make some of you uncomfortable. But meine Freunde, uncomfortable truths are the only ones worth serving.
And I'm Dr. Sophia. Today, we're breaking down a massive shift happening in our industry. The split between chefs who cook and chefs who build systems, brands, intellectual property, products, and experiences. Because skill is still essential.
Absolutely.
But skill alone is no longer enough to scale.
Yeah, exactly. You can cook like Escoffier's ghost trained you personally, plate like Picasso with a culinary degree,
Oh, wow.
and season like your Oma threatened your life with perfection. But you can still get outrun by someone with a cleaner brand, stronger content, and a repeatable concept.
This episode of Chefs Inc. News is proudly sponsored by Chefs Inc. Miami. Stay hungry for news. Let's start with the data that changes everything. Deloitte recently published research finding that restaurants reported an average 9.9% increase in business-to-consumer revenue.
Wow.
As a direct result of social media strategies. Social-first brands, they saw 14.1%. And here is the kicker.
What is it?
65% of consumers follow food and lifestyle topics on social media.
So digital presence is not some optional garnish anymore. It is part of the main course. Because if discovery happens online and trust gets built online,
Right.
then no audience means less leverage. No presence means less pull.
Exacto. The market now rewards chefs who can do three things simultaneously: create demand, capture attention,
Yeah?
and convert that attention into repeatable revenue. If you only perform labor but don't own the audience, own the format, or own a recognizable concept, you risk becoming replaceable inside somebody else's machine.
Well, this is the part that stings, yeah? Because we were taught that excellence speaks for itself. But in reality, excellence that nobody hears about
Exactly.
speaks to an empty room.
Here's something that might shock you. According to the U.S. Copyright Office, a mere list of ingredients is not protected under copyright law.
No way.
What may be protected is substantial literary expression around the recipe, or the cookbook as a collection.
Ungloudly. So if your only strategy is, I have a great recipe,
Yeah,
that's not much of a moat at all.
no magic, just good strategy. The stronger moat is often the brand around the dish. The story, the community, the content, the trademark, the format, and the trust you build with your audience.
Your sauce can be copied. Your plating can be imitated. Your idea can be interpreted. True. But your voice, your fan base, your brand world, and your distribution system, those are much harder to clone.
And that's why smart chefs are turning dishes into ecosystems. Not just, here is my pasta. It becomes, here is the pasta, the short form reel,
Oh, yeah.
the behind the scenes prep, the cookbook chapter, the class, the branded product, the reservation waitlist, the email list, and the collaboration.
Let's talk about something fascinating. Let's look at how chefs now influence what gets bought in stores.
Okay.
what moves through distribution, and what becomes culturally hot.
Nation's Restaurant News calls this double demand. Chef influencers now help connect food service and retail simultaneously. Chef-led content doesn't just create customer interest, it also creates operator interest and distributor pull-through. This is huge, because if your dish inspires a diner, a buyer, and another operator at the same time,
Right.
then suddenly your knife skills are doing triple duty. That is the loophole right there. A traditional chef sells labor once. A modern chef can sell the same insight multiple ways.
Yeah.
They sell it as a plate, a clip, a class, a branded ingredient, a partnership, a live event, a subscriber community, or an experience package. Yeah, this is what I mean when I say every plate should have a second life online. If you make one killer dish, don't stop at the service. Definitely not. Turn it into the prep reel, the chef commentary, the downloadable recipe story, the plated masterclass, the private dinner concept, the sauce bottle, the event tasting, the sponsor integration, and the email sign-up magnet. That is leverage. And it matters because restaurant margins are still brutal. The old Empire chef model required gatekeepers. Yeah, like who? Like television networks, publishers, and retailers. The newer model gives chefs direct tools to build an audience and monetize attention themselves. Stop thinking only like a chef on shift. Exactly. Start thinking like a chef with a media arm, a product arm, and a brand arm. Gensler's research makes this case clearly. Hospitality is moving toward immersive, story-driven, multi-sensory experiences. Food is becoming part of a bigger emotional and theatrical narrative.
Yeah. This is why a tasting dinner, chef's table, pop-up, or collab night can hit harder than just another special on a menu. Guests remember the surprise.
Yeah.
They remember the story. They remember how it made them feel.
And let's be strategic here. If the experience is distinctive, then the content becomes distinctive too. Unique experiences create stronger photos.
Right.
Stronger clips, stronger press hooks, and stronger word of mouth. Audience only matters if it creates trust. Recent research found that credibility and trust are what turn attention into actual intention to visit.
Yeah.
And that means chefs should stop chasing random viral nonsense and start building useful authority. Show people why you think the way you think. Yes. Show process, show standards, show consistency. Trust grows when the audience understands your point of view and sees proof of execution over time. Your content shouldn't only say, "Look at this beautiful dish." Right. It should also say, "Here is the problem I solve. Here is the standard I keep. And here is the world I am inviting you into." So, what does the modern playbook actually look like? Let's make this practical. First, document your thinking, not just your plating. Second, build a repeatable signature concept that people can describe in one sentence.
Okay.
Third, collect owned audience, especially email, memberships, reservations, and direct followers. Fourth, turn best-selling dishes into content pillars and eventually products or premium experiences. Fifth, create systems so the business works without your hands touching every plate every minute. In plain kitchen language, stop building a job and start building a machine with your flavor inside it. Exacto. Because if your brand dies every time you step off the line, that is not scale. That is dependency.
Wow.
So let's land this clearly. The death of just a chef does not mean the death of craftsmanship. It means craft alone no longer captures enough value. The winning chefs are still serious professionals, but they also think like operators, publishers, designers, collaborators, and brand builders.
Cook like a master, but build like a founder. Because recipes alone won't scale. Plates alone won't scale. Right. Labor alone won't scale. But systems, audience, brand, products, and experiences, now we are cooking with gas. And remember, this is Chefs Inc. News. News for chefs, created by chefs. So here is the challenge for this week. Take your best dish and ask yourself, what is its second life? Right. Is it content? Is it a class? Is it an event? Is it a sauce? Is it a story? Is it a branded signature experience? If your plate disappears after service, you created a moment. If your plate keeps working after service, you created an asset. This episode of Chefs Inc. News is proudly sponsored by Chefs Inc. Miami. Stay hungry for news. We want to hear from you. What is your biggest challenge in building beyond just cooking? Email us or drop a comment. Danke schön for listening.